And all right, guys, I think we're preparing to go. Your event is starting hopefully soon. What up, guys? Your boy T-Dub with Blades and Sports. We are here live. So give me a second. Let me just double check to make sure it is showing correctly. Once again, it's your boy T-Dub. Oh, we are. There it is. All right, guys. What up, T-Dub with Blades and Sports. So what I want to do is I did a verbal breakdown yesterday, basically on the fight, all the things behind it, what's going on, stylistically match up with these guys. We are definitely, at least on paper and at least how it appears, we are on track to have a good one, guys. You have two of the best amateurs to ever do it, with two of the best records that we've seen. Why am I pausing? I'm kind of freezing up a little bit, guys. But you know what? It may be good enough where I can still work through it. I'm talking about Lomachenko and Rigondeaux. Two-time gold medalists in the Olympics. And forgive me, guys. I still have pneumonia, but you know what? Your boy's going to fight through it. I'm going to keep pushing. And every now and then you'll hear just to get clear. But guys, here we are live. This is going down this week. This should be hyped up. And one of the better things about this, guys, is I need to just double check to confirm it, but I believe it is on ESPN. Yes, I said it, guys. For most of you guys that have maybe a basic cable network, I feel like I'm dying. But, you know, this should be something. It's not like HBO, which a lot of people think a fight of this magnitude would be on HBO, but it is not. It's not on Showtime. It's not on pay-per-view. Even though some of the hardcore fans would pay per-view, it is on ESPN. And I think this fight is going to do some pretty good numbers, you know. Not as good numbers as I think it should do, because of the level of the fight it really is. Because what you really look at, you're looking at two guys. One has, 17 fights? The other one has 10 fights. One that has 10 fights is considered by many pound for pound best right now. The one that has 17 fights is considered to at least be in the top 10 of all, at least right now, pound for pound. Where you put each one of them, especially after this fight, is going to tell a lot. But guys, what do you think about this fight taking place at 130? Do you see that as a significant advantage for Lomachenko? I would definitely say this. It is an advantage for Lomachenko because he used to fighting guys at this point bigger than Rigondeaux. And Rigondeaux is a small fighter that's coming up to 130. And he's not like he's a tall guy. And he's not a big guy. You know, some guys are big for the division and they can stand in the room to move up. He's not big for his division, and him moving up is pretty much just either packing on muscle, packing on weight, which could either affect his timing, putting on the amount of pounds. I would love to see an after weight on this, because I don't even think Rigondeaux is going to probably weigh in at 130. He probably, like a lot of small fighters, he may weigh in at 127, maybe 128, heck, maybe even 126. And he may put a pound or two overnight just by eating some steak and potatoes and walk in at 128. Lomachenko probably going to weigh in at 129, 130. Somewhere in that mark, and probably rehydrate to about 138. I don't really know. But does the weight give an advantage? And I have to say yes, this weight does give an advantage for Lomachenko. Speed. I got into the speed before. The speed with these guys is different, because Lomachenko uses a combination of speed and a combination of punches. And he can punch very fluent with his combination of punches. And Rigondeaux uses his speed almost like a slingshot or a gun. It's basically, he's here, wow, and he shoot typically one shot, maybe two shots, you know, maybe two or three at one time, but he's typically a striker. You know, somebody that's dead accurate, is looking to hit you with that straight left hand, which is his stronger hand. Actually have broken jaws with his hands. But now, let's touch on power. Power is a good one. Let's touch on power. It's really hard to really judge the power that's going to come into this fight because we never seen Lomachenko, not Lomachenko, but Rigondeaux at 130 pounds. So we don't know how his strength is going to transition. Yes, we know how it looks at 122. He got pretty decent power. You know, he got a pretty nice pop. But how will that pop transition to 130? Lomachenko is not known for having really great amount of power, but damn it, he just beats your ass with so many punches that you don't see a combination in different angles that he break you down psychologically until you want to just give up. But as crazy as it sounds, I think the power edge probably was still, it's crazy. May go Rigondeaux, maybe. But even though Rigondeaux might have the bigger punch, Lomachenko is definitely capable of sitting Rigondeaux down. Rigondeaux has been knocked down before by the smaller fighters in his division. So, don't get it twisted, guys. I think Lomachenko, with his style, is definitely capable of dropping Rigondeaux. And to be honest, I can almost see Rigondeaux getting dropped in this fight. Not saying losing, but I can almost see him getting dropped with a flash knockdown from a shot that he doesn't see. Why do you say this, T-Dub? Why do you say this? Some people ask. Maybe no one's asking. The reason I say this is because Lomachenko used these different angles. He's out. Then he's coming in with these angles. He's out. He's coming in with these angles. And when you're combination punching, a lot of times you can catch 1 or 2 punches, but sometimes you don't see that third one, or that fourth one, or that uppercut. And the shots that you do not see are the ones that typically knock you down. And I can see him doing it. Now, I don't see him knocking Rigondeaux out with one shot. Yes, knock him down to a flash knockdown or whatever. Rigondeaux gets up, shaking his head, and he's ready to fight. I can see that happening. But let's talk about what can happen with combination punching. With combination punching, and a guy like Rigondeaux, who's a sharpshooter, he's going to be looking to time one of those punches. He's going to be looking for an opening. So when Lomachenko goes into his raft of combination punching, you're going to see Rigondeaux block, 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 and he's going to shoot. He's going to be looking to shoot that left hand in between shots to disrupt Lomachenko combination. And if he's able to disrupt those combinations with enough flush shots, it will make Lomachenko think twice about throwing this many combinations. Where he would normally throw 4, 5, 6 punch combinations, if he get hit after the second and third, you would see him limit those combinations down to 2 or 3 shots. And the one thing I do expect about this fight, guys, I actually expect a little bit more action. Okay? Rigondeaux is not a guy, he's a patient guy. You know, both of these guys are typically used to facing right-hand fighters. And what do you get when a right-hand fighter faces an orthodox fighter? Not orthodox, but an orthodox fighter faces southpaw. You typically get a lot of jab touching, shoot the straight. Jab touching, shoot the straight. Jab touching, hook, straight to the body. Straight, hook. You know, you tend to get either a lot of hooks or you get a lot of straight shots. But with both of these guys being southpaws, you should see almost little to no of the tapping of the jabs. Because typically when they tap them the jab, because their hands on the same side, and they trying to basically time their cross. And since both of these guys are southpaws, it's going to be similar to watching just 2 orthodox fighters fight. You know, you throw meaningful jabs, and you try to land your combinations, or work your combinations off of it. So instead of doing a lot of tough stuff, look for a lot of more snappier jabs, or the combinations. Now, a thing with both of these guys is both of these guys got pretty good straight shots. Like one of Rigondeaux's better punches is his straight left hand. Some people may say that is his money punch, and that hand lands a lot better and typically a lot more accurate and a higher percentage against orthodox fighters. But now that he's fighting a southpaw, he may have to work at it a little bit more, because now these guys are, you know, it's not lined right up to his face by one lane. And another thing I like about these guys is both of these guys have incredible angles. The one thing about Lomachenko, you can see his angles more verbally, not verbally, but visually. He jump sides, come in, pop, 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 jump sides, pop, 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 switch shots, lands his shots. And Rigondeaux is more subtle. His movement is not really as noticeable, but the little slants create those shots. The little movements create those shots. Working off the pivot, just pivoting and moving works those shots. Guys, this is a really good, intriguing matchup. Now, one of the things I may say about this fight is that when it's come down to it, I think Lomachenko is going to start off with his foot on the gas a little bit more than Rigondeaux. And the reason I say this, because Rigondeaux is a counterpuncher. He's going to be patient. He's going to look to either land that hook or land that left hand, and he's going to try to get the timing of Lomachenko so he can get that powerful left hand in. And I think Lomachenko, maybe out of the first 3 rounds, he may even take 2 of them. Heck, he might even take 3 of them. I really don't know how it's going to go down, but it's just my thoughts. But after that, once Rigondeaux get his timing, and he's able to land his shots more, and he's able to see Rigondeaux punches sort of slow down to him, you're going to see him attacking more. You're going to see him doing a lot better. Yo! Alright, guys, we got D-Tex Max in the chat room. What's going on, buddy? He said, this year has been the best year in boxing. I can't wait to see the fight. I got Rigo winning in a 12-round decision. You know what, man? Rigo, honestly, you know, he's one of those guys that if you want to root for an underdog, and the reason I call him an underdog is not because he's lacking skills. It's not because he's a smaller fighter. It's because it seemed like boxing and his own promoters and the commentators are typically not rooting for him. You know, even his own promoter at one time was saying things such as, you know, people don't want to see him. He's this, he's that. He's a guy that they don't really want to promote. He's a guy that they want to keep down. And then you have Lomachenko, who his second fight as a professional was already getting a title fight, which he was the guy that was trying to push to the top even before he did the things to actually be recognized for being at the top. So that's what I mean when I say Rigondeaux is like really the underdog. One guy who they saying, oh my gosh, he's the best there is, you know, and then the other guys like, you know, they don't want to see him. He's not selling out. Anything negative they can say, they're going to say about it. No, we're not beating you at 126. You're going to come up to 130 if you want this fight. And he definitely has like, you know, it's like a movie type feel about him, because he has everything that in everyone that looks like in the system is pulling against him. He has a title at 122. Why are they, is it a WBO or BA? Why are they telling him that if you lose 2 weight classes up, we're stripping your title? They're trying to mentally fuck him. They're trying to mentally fuck him to make him go out there and do something that he over. By not meeting that 126 and making him come to 130. They're trying to mentally get at Rigondeaux. Some of the commentators already have said they pull in and they want Lomachenko to win, or they think he's going to win. So even the commentating is going to be against him, which is why I say he's underdog. And it's crazy. But speaking on this year of boxing, man, this has been one of the greatest years in boxing in a while. I mean, it's so hard to really recap all of these fights because it's so many. It's so many that I don't want to get some of them mixed up and think there was in 16 when it was actually in 2017. I believe the Keith Thurman and Garcia was in 17, right? Was the Sean Porter in 17 too as well? I'm not sure. It's definitely Triple G and Canelo. Just so many of these fights, man. Kell Brook and Earl Spence. The upset, if you consider, of Manny Pacquiao, depends on how you saw that fight going. Just so many mega fights, so many big fights. And then you got the fight with the cherry on top, the Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. And then you got the hypocrite on top, Oscar De La Hoya, trying to call out McGregor after he was trying to boycott Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor, which is crazy in his own. But Lomachenko, man, as I'm looking at, basically I'm looking at what you guys are looking at. This is Rigondeaux versus Lomachenko, and it's one of those fights, honestly, it's really hard for me to pick right now because part of me wanted to lean towards Rigondeaux. Then part of me said, you know what, so much favors Lomachenko, and that, you know, Rigondeaux has been dropped before, and I think Lomachenko has a combination to at least catch Rigondeaux with some of those punches to drop him. And then you think about it, because a lot of the Cuban fighters, you know, sometimes you don't really know how old they are. I think they said he's 37. He could be in fact 37, but or it could be in fact a well-fit 42-year-old. We just don't know. But definitely who I would like to see win. I would like to see Rigondeaux take the win. He definitely has that storybook, you know, from rags to riches, from the bottom to the top, hated all the way, and he finally gets to fight, you know, and what he's going to do with it, we're going to find out December 9th. Guys, remember, this is on ESPN. So if you have a basic cable channel, if you don't, it's okay. Go to a friend. Go to a bar. They should have it. Watch this fight, guys. Support this fight. Your boy T-Dub planning on doing a live video right afterwards. But let me get more in depth in this fight. It's really hard to say who has the, you know what? It's really hard to say. It's really hard to say who has the better jab, because both of these guys fight orthodox fighters so much, and a lot of times you can't really see their jab because it's doing a lot of touch stuff. But every now and then you see them shoot it to the body or something. It's really hard to judge their jab. If I had to go out just who has a better cross, it's Rigondeaux. Who has a better combination punches? Lomachenko. Who has better footwork? Lomachenko. Even though I like Rigondeaux and he has his angles and his slips, but Lomachenko just has a way to get in and land shots and leave his opponents all discombobulated. Sometimes want to quit. My boy said back in a live chat, that's real talk though, bro. Rigondeaux been blackballed, considered to be boring, but the truth, boxers with skills. Lome lost his old school to Salido and is considered pound for pound the best. I think he's getting exposed. Basically, this is one of those about the system again, man, because Lomachenko is considered, I did a video on this. It was ESPN pound for pound list, and they had him above Terence Crawford. He is, and I'm not knocking Lomachenko, guys. And here's the thing. Lomachenko is a great fighter, so don't get me wrong, but like, I'm knocking the people that do too extra. I'm knocking the extra shit. I'm not, you know, I'm not knocking him. I'm knocking these dickheads, the extra shit. Around the dickheads, get it? Extra shit. I'm knocking these guys because here's Terence Crawford. Matter of fact, I was going to look him up. But Terence Crawford, what is he, around 30-some wins? I'm not sure like that. 30-some wins. Unify his division. Unified champ. That is the highest you can go in that division. And Lomachenko, who is 9 wins, 1 loss, is ranked higher than Terence Crawford, who unified his division. Undisputed. There's no doubt he is the best. Which tells me, in a lot of their minds, there is absolutely nothing Terence Crawford can do outside of fighting Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, David Haye, Andre Ward, and defeat all of these guys to even be considered. As long as Lomachenko wins in a lot of their eyes, he can't be top. If Lomachenko is already above him and he has not unified a division or any of those things, he don't even have over 10 fights. You know, you can see it, and I completely agree that Rigondeaux he's been blackballed, and even when he took this fight, he just, it's all set up for him to lose, and that's the thing about it. And back to D-Tech said that he picks Rigondeaux to win, you know, in the 12-round decision. Here's the thing. Here's what I'm thinking about. We've seen some fights this year that go 12 rounds, and you be completely mind blown that they give the winner is the guy that you don't think won. You know, he can win a fight and lose the fight. That's what's really scary. What if Rigondeaux goes out there? In majority eyes, people thought he won 8-4. Okay, 8 rounds to 4. You can think it's clear. But then once you go to the scorecards, you hear 113, 115, 113, 113, 116, 112, and still, I can't say undefeated, Lomachenko! And everybody, you know, I can truly see him getting robbed. I can see the commentators definitely saying that he done enough to win. He pulled it out. Rigondeaux should have closed the show. He was being too passive. I can definitely see that happening. Rigo Nation, what's up? Big Don Leon. I tell you one thing, man. Rigondeaux definitely has a mountain, man. You know, he's not coming into this fight level. He's not walking in on level ground and Lomachenko on level ground and they're meeting up to fight. No, he's not getting that at all. Lomachenko's up top of the mountain. He got to get past his own division telling him that if you lose, I'm taking your belt. He got to get past the commentating who's talking about who's going to be probably 99% biased. He got to get past the judges. He got to get past the crowd. He's going up a hill in rain, sleet, with plastic boots with no grip from Payless. It's going to be tough, man. This is not going to be an easy fight for Lomachenko in the ring, period. It's not going to be an easy fight for him with the commentating. The crowd is going to be pro Lomachenko. The one thing I do like about Rigondeaux is he showed he wants this fight. He tried to meet at 126. They wouldn't do it. He said, you know what? Forget it. I'll meet you at 130. I signed on the dollar line. The belt was cool with it. At first, the belt was cool with it. And then once the fight signed, oh, by the way, if you lose, we're going to take your belt. To me, that's BS. When Kell Brook went up 2 weight classes and got his whole eye knocked out against Triple G, he kept his belt, even got time off for his injury to defend against Earl Spence Jr., right? When Chad Dawson came down, he was a light heavyweight champion, to fight Andre Ward at was super middleweight. He lost, kept his belt, went back up. Most of the time, if you're stepping out of your division to fight another champion in a high division, that your belt typically don't even interfere. They're like, okay, you know, it's cool, whatever. It's like they really want this guy to lose. It's like sabotaging. It's like before he come out to fight, stab him in the side a couple times. Almost like the movie Gladiator. You gotta remember Gladiators. You know, before he go out there, they hook him up a few times, put his arm on him, try to wound him, break him down before he has to go out there and fight somebody who's completely healthy, who's everything going to get him. Nobody talking about, no one's saying if you lose against, if they're not telling Lomachenko, if you lose against Rigondeaux, they're not saying we're going to take your belt. You know what? Guys, I need to do research on this. I didn't even look at it. Is Rigondeaux challenging for his belt? I would imagine he has to. He's not. Lomachenko is not challenging for the 122. I wonder. I gotta look into that because this has got to be a 12-round fight, which means it's typically for a title. If it's 12-round fights, if it's not for a title, it's going to be a 10-round fight, which means his title probably is. His title probably is up for Rigondeaux, and then if Rigondeaux does win it, I imagine Rigondeaux is probably going to give it up and at least go back down to 126 or maybe 122. But if I did win it, if I was Rigondeaux, if I won the 130-pound title from Lomachenko, that 122 title who said they was going to take it anyway, I would give that shit back to him. I would say, you know what? The title you're going to take if I lost, matter of fact, I won, keep it. Give it to whoever you want to give it to. I don't want to fight for your title no more. I had it. I won it. Big deal. But guys, hey, take a second. I appreciate anybody. Take a second to like and subscribe. It's your boy T-Dub with Plays and Sports. We are going to grow. But if anybody else has anything in the comments before I get ready to sign out of here, let me know. If you do not comment here once the video upload, you can leave a comment. Let me know if there's a fight you want to hear me talk about. Anything. There's a Devin Alexander and Andre Berto in talks. From what I'm hearing, it was supposed to be in the works, but it's not in the works yet. But Alexander team is definitely open to fight Berto. So that could be a fight that would either send one of them guys back into contention and then send one of them guys back to the bleachers, or maybe not even the bleachers, back to the locker room for good and pack up their stuff, because the last competing days will be over. I heard some news about Manny Pacquiao, but I can't touch on it yet. But guys, your boy T, that was Blazing the Sports. And we're out.